Good morning, my name is Justin. Welcome to my channel. I play guitar on songs in Nashville, and I have been threatening to make a review video of my Novo Serus J here for a long time, so I'm finally following through on that. And I'm going to mod it. I haven't done it yet because I want you to be able to hear it before and after and get my real-time impressions of what I think I gained, what I might have lost, you know. I would never assume that doing something that I did to another guitar that really worked on that guitar means that it's going to have the exact same effect on this guitar. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but this is what it sounds like. I'm running into my Sarge, which you're just used to hearing on this channel. I'm used to hearing it. I have nothing on except some reverb. That's it. So this is what it sounds like. Neck pickup, here's middle. I mean, everything sounds great. It's a really great guitar. And bridge. And the whammy bar work. What a fantastic instrument. It really is. I mean, I got it because one of my friends works for Novo, and he brought it over. He asked if he could just drop one off and let me check it out. He wanted to get some feedback from some players who are working in the scene in town and whatever. So he dropped this guitar off. This is a Serus J. The specs, I'll just go through this really quickly. It has a roasted pine body. I was very skeptical of this. All of my guitars are like the most traditional tone woods. You know, all of my Fender style guitars are ash or alder. All of my Gibsons are mahogany or maple or some combination of them. And I just don't have anything, I don't think I have anything that's made out of pine. I have a Danelectro baritone that's made out of some sort of composite, you know. I don't even know. I think the neck has wood in it, but the body is like, I've never cut one open, so I'm not sure. I'm trying to think of what else. I have a PRS baritone that is mahogany with a maple cap. I have a Gretsch hollow body, Brian Setzer, which is fully hollow with like some bracing under the bridge, and it's a maple body guitar. Everything's just really straight down the middle. I have a lot of keepers that are basically classics, you know. I want this classic sound for my goldtop, so I'm not going to do anything weird with it. I want a classic sound for my telly, so I'm going to play a 55 that's a maple neck and ash body and sounds great, you know? So he brought it over, I took it out of the case, and just my very first initial impression is that this is made extremely well. The neck is super comfortable. It's their like slightly larger than medium C shape, I believe. And the edges are rolled really nicely. The fret ends are perfectly dressed. And it just feels really good. If you're the kind of person who's like, man, I like really comfortable guitars. I want the feel of the instrument to get out of the way so I can just create, then this is something that you're really gonna like, you know. I know everybody's hands are different and everybody holds and plays guitars very differently. It's a very personal thing, but I would say that this was made for maximum comfort. I mean, the way the body is contoured, you know, it has this has this contour here in the upper bout on the back. Ultra comfortable. The way it hangs, you know, where the strap pegs are located, and the way that it hangs when you're standing up and playing it is super comfortable. You can tell just by looking at it that it's loosely based on a Jazzmaster, right? Another reason I was skeptical of getting this is because I have a really great Jazzmaster that I love, and it is a pure Jazzmaster in the sense that there's nothing changed. It didn't take a direction, didn't take a turn in any direction away from a traditional late 50s, early 60s Jazzmaster design. It's got the two big Jazzmaster pickups. It's got the rhythm circuit. And it came with Mastery hardware as well. This guitar has a Mastery bridge, Mastery tailpiece, which together I just call that the Mastery hardware or Mastery setup, whatever. It has Fralin P90s, which are really great P90s. If you have a P90 guitar that you want to wake up, particularly the neck position, if you want it to sound like just a giant Strat, get a Fralin, you know, get the whole set, just so you don't, because I don't know if they're wound the same way as Gibson's factory pickups, or, you know, whatever guitar you might want to wake the neck pickup up, you know. And I would get the whole set, both pickups, just because you want to make sure that it plays well with the bridge. And I think all of Fralin's sets, unless otherwise specified, are hum canceling in the middle position, right? So moving along on this guitar, there's a global volume, global tone that works no matter what position you're in. It's a simple three-way switch. The guitar is ultra simple, and it just sounds and plays really good. I would put it kind of right between my Jazzmaster and my Goldtop Les Paul. It has the feel and some of the air and the bar and the hardware. It's set up like a Jazzmaster, but with these pickups and with the way this guitar naturally sustains, it kind of leans into that Les Paul territory too. You know, like it. Just check out the bridge pickup, wide open. It's rock and roll, you know. So I can get away, you know, on quick sessions or something where they just want me to bring a couple guitars and a combo amp. I'll take my Tele and this will sort of serve as, you know, the vibe of a Jazzmaster with the bar and all the excess harmonics and noise that you get from this section of the string ringing out. Like you hear that in the track. Like if I I'll turn the reverb off and it almost sounds like it's still on. You still hear that right after the note, just briefly. It's kind of a built-in reverb. People say that about Strats too. They have a built-in reverb. With a Strat, it comes from the springs inside the body under that plate that are holding the bridge floating. It's better the more it floats. The reverb of a Strat. But anyway, I've found it's a really great guitar when I want to take like two. I want to take my Tele and I want to take the Novo, because I can get big rock and roll rhythm sounds out of it, and I can get nice vibey, you know, sounds that I can use the bar to express or emote or kind of dip into chords or out of chords or just give a little shake on them. It's also great for just clean-ish neck rhythm playing, you know. sounds great. I mean, I keep saying that, but that's because it's true. So, the other aspect of this, this is my subjective opinion that I'm trying to give you all here. And I would go even further than saying this is just a great guitar. And I would call it a modern classic. Like there are so many guitar companies that are taking elements of one classic design, elements of another classic design, mashing them together and saying, here you go. And sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I think everything on this guitar comes together in such a way that it really is its own thing. It's not just a weird Jazzmaster, or it's not just a P90 guitar or whatever. It's just totally got its own thing. Like they really nailed it. And I got a chance to go tour the factory, and I met all the people, well, the ones who weren't like ultra busy inside a paint booth or something, you know. I met pretty much everybody that works there, and these are not cheap guitars, right? Like I think this is $3,500, and that's not cheap. But I mean, they've just got their process dialed in so well. And again, in addition to being made extremely well, it also is super comfortable and sounds incredible and gets out of your way so that you can just make music with it, you know, and it's inspiring. And so I think that this is something that I could pass down to one of my kids, and they hang on to it for long enough, like it's going to be worth more than what I paid for it, you know? I just think that in the age of where everybody wants something that is as vintage as possible, like vintage replicas, you know, like I want a relic Strat that sounds and feels and looks just like a real 64, but I don't want to pay $25,000. It seems like that's where we are and where we have been for a while in the guitar market. This has come along, and it's got a little bit of that distress in it, just enough to feel broken in and to feel really good. But it's a completely original design. Like the sum of the parts, it's its own thing, and I just think they're fantastic guitars. So, and I think they will hold their value, if not appreciate, over time. And having said all that, I'm gonna mod it. I haven't done it yet because I want you to hear before and after. But the thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a Descendant tailpiece on this guitar as well. And I did that on my Jazzmaster, on my Dano. And before, on that guitar, it sounded great, played great, felt great. Before that tailpiece change, I had a bunch of noise happening behind the bridge, like more than this, much more than this. The noise was louder, it would ring out longer, and high up on the neck, I would just get terrible sustain. And like on this guitar doesn't suffer from that. So the sustain is like nothing's, it's still going. Nothing's choking those notes out, right? That's fantastic. So, the other thing that adding the Descendant to my Danocaster, the other thing that did was, this bugs me about Jazzmasters. It might not bug you. I know if you're a Jazzmaster purist, then number one, you're probably not watching this video. But number two, you probably disagree with me on this, but I don't like the way a traditional Jazzmaster setup feels when I play bends, okay? I bend a lot on guitars. I'm a very bendy guitar player, and that's something that's just a little bit difficult going from one guitar to the next in my entire arsenal because they're all so different. I have different string gauges on them. They have different scale lengths. And with this guitar in particular, or with any Jazzmaster, traditionally set up Jazzmaster, I feel that I have to push the note farther to get there. You know what I mean? So my tendency is to land right there. It's not quite at the note. I gotta push a little farther. right? When I'm in the middle of working and I'm trying to do some inspired thing and I'm trying to like put a big bend in the middle of a solo or something like that, and I hear that I didn't quite get there, and I think, oh yeah, you're on a Jazzmaster. You're on this guitar with this real long tailpiece, you know, with lots of string behind the bridge and not a ton of downward pressure on the bridge. It instantly takes me out of it, you know? And so on the Dano, when I put the Descendant on, it bends like my other guitars. I feel like I don't have to be hyper aware of where I'm naturally bending to, you know? And I have to do that on this guitar. So I'm gonna change the tailpiece. I'm gonna put a Descendant on it. I had another one show up. It's on the shelf over here. And so I'm gonna put it on and I will be right back. All right, so I'm down in my garage. I've got the tailpiece of the Novo taken off. It was a Mastery. You see it's totally gone. Now the Descendant is a drop-in piece. You just drop it in, reinstall the 6 mounting screws. They're in the exact same place, and then restring your guitar. And that's really it. What's cool about it is, oh, first of all, it only came with a white tip. If you ask, like one of the frequently asked questions on their website is, can I get a different color tip, like black or mint or something that looks aged? And what he says is you can find tips that aren't threaded, and if you soak them in hot water for 90 seconds, you can thread them onto your threaded end, and then as it cools off, basically it sets the threads. You've basically tapped an unthreaded tip and it'll screw on and off afterward, which is pretty cool. So you can find a cheap one online and do that. And what's cool is there's this little set screw inside of here. It's kind of hard to see underneath the arm. There it is, peeking out there. That sets the pressure on the arm. I like the arm to not swing freely. I want to be able to use it up in position. I want to be able to move it and for it to stay, and wherever I move it, I want it to stay. So I like that set screw. So I'm going to go ahead and get this put on and reinstall my strings, and we'll go check it out. See ya. All right, we're back. I have modded my Novo. I don't know if there are any other review videos where somebody modded their guitar in the middle of it, but I did. Also, I think my hair's a bit longer than the first part of this video. It's been like 2 months since I cut the before section of the video. So, yeah, let's see what we've got here. I'm just gonna play through it unplugged, and then also what I like to do in all of my review videos is I like to use whatever piece of gear I'm talking about for my job. So I've got a song here that the producer has requested an extra part for the bridge to help differentiate it from the rest of the track. I almost always do that, but what I was given on this track was a guitar and a vocal. And I thought the whole thing was supposed to be this sort of spacey, like that was the demo, just very spacey guitar. And so I did some of those tracks and just let it be this like vibe, you know. Well, I get a rough mix back, and it's got full on drums, and it's a whole band. And I'm like, oh, that's a little different. So that's okay. I'll add a part. But for now, here's the Novo. Here's the Descendant on the Novo. I put the tip from the Mastery arm on my Descendant arm. I have it set to where it isn't too hard to move, but it stays in place. That's what I like. I don't like it flopping and banging on the input jack or anything. So let's see how it sounds. So, tone-wise and feel-wise, it's not very different at all, to me. You know, early on in my career, I decided that every time I pick up a guitar and I play something, I want it to sound like the intro to a song. Hey, what is that? Oh, that's, you know, because I feel like the more that my playing is song oriented, the better off I'm going to be at getting calls to help people craft their songs, you know? So anyway, that's what that felt like to me. So that's all been neck pickup. Here's the middle. And the bridge pickup. And I've got a little Maris Mercury 7 plate on there. Maybe more than a little. That voicing of a major 7, D major 7. The lowest note's the B, so it's in third inversion. And then all three other notes are like it's as clustery a cluster as you can get, right? Yeah. So what I do notice about the way the arm works is that it's a little bit tighter. It doesn't quite have the travel. I just, when I installed this, I just saw that Descendant came out with a new 2024 Descendant model that has all that missing travel, apparently. If you really like to be able to just go to town on your Jazzmaster bar, and you want it to feel the same, but still having the increased sustain from the extra break angle over the bridge, then maybe the new 2024 model is for you. I haven't felt like my Jazzmasters aren't Jazzmastery enough with the Descendant on it. So, and again, this is not a traditional Jazzmaster, so hopefully the purists aren't after me too much for this one. Let's see what we can add to this track. It really is just a short section that he wanted something to change there, and it makes total sense. And I feel like if there had been bass and drums and everything, and it was a full band treatment and not just this like vibe that sat here the whole time in the demo, then I would have done that. So here we go. This is what we got. And I've tucked the rough mix with the drums and everything way back because the vocal is screaming hot in that mix. And, you know, this is an unreleased track, so I'm trying to protect my clients' intellectual property before they release it. And this might just be a demo. I get a lot of comments on older videos like, where is this song? I can't find it. And I don't have the heart to tell the commenters who ask that, that's a demo and it was never released and it has been relegated to the bowels of some publishing company's catalog. And I guess never to be released is a little strong. It could see the light of day. There have been crazier things happen, you know. Here's what we got. I'm going to start our pre-roll in the middle of the second chorus. Bridge. Cool, so there's like a 2. So let's see what we can add. He wanted something kind of higher and driving. I think that makes sense. I think it could be... What if I tune my guitar after restringing it with a new tailpiece on it? Okay, here we go. That could be cool. Does it need like a little love from some delay, some good old-fashioned delay? I don't know, but I want to see. All right. So there's a move in the guitar in the left channel that I want to get out of the way of. So I'm going to play something less smart in the middle of the bridge. Let's go one more time. So this is what I'm talking about. I like that a lot better. Listen. And then the guitar that's already there was already that high, so it made sense for me. So, I think people's biggest concern with a dual P90 guitar is noise. I guess I get that. Part of me is like, just deal with it. No silent option sounds as good. Generally, I just mute when I'm not playing. It is automatic and reflexive. I don't even think about it. I just toe down, or sorry, heel down on the volume pedal, toe up. The last thing you want to do is for everybody to be talking between takes on a session and your guitar just to be going bang. And then also on bad days or in bad studios where the hum is just really bad, I will make sure at the end of the track to give the engineer they'll just record my guitar wide, like I'm not touching it. It's on all the way and it's just going bang. And if they record that, they can feed that. There's a couple programs, some plugins that you can feed that into and eliminate. It will literally carve out just the frequencies of that buzz in such a precise fashion that you basically can't tell that they cut the buzz out of that track just by putting a plug-in on it. And so that's helpful. But really, I think these guitars are modern classics. I think I said that in the early part of the video. It's a really fresh idea. I think it's greater than the sum of its parts. You know, you think Jazzmaster body made out of pine, and here's a neck with an almost Gibson-y radius, really big paddle headstock, Jazzmaster hardware, goldtop pickups, 50s goldtop pickups, the P90s, you know, or archtop pickups, I guess. And it's just really, really nice. It's very balanced. It's ultra comfortable. The fretwork is perfect. That's the thing. It's perfect without being sterile. That would be my overall impression of the guitar. It's inspiring. Everything was done to perfection. And in doing so, they didn't choke all the life out of it. You know, I've had some other guitars pass through my hands where like you could tell whoever built it agonized over every little detail. I mean, just from inlays to intricate designs to crazy woods and the way that they were painted so that the grain just pops in this 3D way or whatever. Kind of like the real ultra high end PRS stuff, like the Dragon guitars with the crazy inlays on the neck. It's like, wow, that looks so cool. And I look at that and I think, I probably don't ever want to hear that guitar. It's hard for new builders, you know, because we're all so stuck on old Gibsons, old Fenders, you know. But every once in a while, something comes along that is ultra cool and unique and highly usable, and I would say that that's the Novo. So I want to see how this thing is with bends now. It just bends like a normal guitar. So I don't have that problem where I just don't quite get there nearly as much. Yeah, I think I'm good with it. I like the change. We shall see. I'm going to take it to work and use it here at work and just you know, initial impressions are good though. I really like the change. So anyway, there's my review video. I hope you guys have a really great week. I'll talk to you soon. See ya.